Well, hello everybody. Happy Monday. Been a long week for me. Finally got over food poisoning by Friday. Got back on my bike on Saturday and felt pretty good. Only to get hit yesterday with a cold, so moving out of one into another. I don't have time for this stuff, to be honest with you. Warming up nicely out here in the desert. Rain appears to be all gone, and warm weather, windy too. I guess it is March, so time for the wind to be blowing out here anyway. So, well, sorry about the time change today. I tried to do this at 6 o'clock, but we had a meeting scheduled for 6, and from now on, the meeting will be scheduled at 6:30. So I'll continue to do it at 6. I know a lot of you might just be getting home, don't have time to relax. So sorry for the little bit early start tonight. How you doing, Rico? So I'll go ahead and get started, and anybody that comes in, they can watch it all over again if they'd like. So, but I'm gonna talk again. We're in the third, or March, so I'm on the third chapter of my book, which is Trauma Triggers. And tonight I'm gonna talk about recognizing the onset of trauma triggers. This is really important. I'll tell a quick story about a kid. He heard me speak at a facility out here, local facility, and he was sexually abused himself. And so he talked about his sexual abuse within a small group, and he got out of treatment. 3 months later, he calls me up and he says, "Randy, I need to talk to you." He says, "Okay." So what had happened was he called me on a Tuesday. We met on a Thursday. And what had happened was he had drank. He got out and drank. I had the feeling I knew why, but I wanted him to tell me. And he told me, he says, "Randy, I talked about my abuse when I was in treatment. I thought that's all I had to do. I thought it was all over with." And we have to recognize that in treatment facilities, they have a very limited time to work on trauma issues, to 30, 60, 90 days, maybe at the most 90 days. And it's getting even worse with the insurance, where maybe they only got 30 days. And so he thought he was all done. His exact words were, "I thought that's all I had to do was talk about it." Well, about 3 months after he gets out, something happened and he got triggered. And I don't know what it was that triggered him. It was a feeling or something that came up. And because he wasn't given no tools to deal with those trauma triggers, or didn't know how to recognize a trauma trigger, or didn't pick up the phone and call somebody, what he did is he went to his default button, which is to drink alcohol. And it's understandable, because you get triggered, and those feelings can be overwhelming, because for so many years we've been masking them with drugs, alcohol, pornography, gambling, whatever it is. But now we take all that away, the shame comes up, and we got those feelings just sitting there raw. And so he drank, because he knew that would take the feelings away right away from him. Well, unfortunately, he never made it back. In 2 years, about a year and a half, 2 years after that incident, he ended up hanging himself, leaving a beautiful wife and three very beautiful children. So these trauma triggers are really important to try to learn, recognize as they come up. If in the alcoholic and addict world, they call them triggers. What triggers you to drink. So there's a lot of different areas we have to look at. So, hey Laura, hey Anna, glad you're both here. So anyways, I'm gonna read from the paragraph that I pulled out of the book tonight, called "Recognizing the Onset of Trauma Triggers." It's actually the first paragraph in that heading. So there's a great saying in AA that awareness is often curative. When it comes to trauma trances, I have definitely found that to be true. The trauma trance is when the trauma trigger hisses, and all of a sudden it's like a blackout almost. The trauma, the trigger takes over, and old behavior comes up. The moment I realize that I have been triggered, I am usually able to see the present situation differently. I realize that my overpowering emotions are not caused by what is happening in the present moment, but are due to decades of repressed feelings and abuse. That's really important to know. I realize that my overpowering emotions are not caused by what is happening in the present moment, but are due to decades of repressed feelings and abuse. Like the story with Kathy when she says, "Randy, not now." Later, it triggered. I didn't hear Kathy. I heard my mother telling me that, and my mom told me that. Never. Later meant never. Um, so it triggered a response instantly. And fortunately, well, not unfortunately, I reacted rather than responding. And but once I did, I realized what had happened. So we got to be really aware of our trauma triggers. And sometimes it might be something that you do or you have done for years without no response or anything. But um, a person could say something to you that you hear every single day, but just his tone or her tone changes just a little bit, and it'll snap a trigger on you. So we got to be really aware of these things. So speaking of aware, there's 3 things I learned the other day. Just the other day I was talking to a man. I really like this. So first, there's awareness. The 3 A's: awareness, acceptance, and action. Awareness, acceptance, and action. So we got to be aware of the triggers, okay, as they come. But then we have to accept them. We have to accept the fact that, hey, this is something that I can't control right now. And where's it coming from? Yeah, I just blew up, and it's not right. I made a mistake. I need to figure out why it's there. And sometimes, or not, most of the time, that acceptance comes with realizing that you just got triggered from something that happened way back in your past. And a lot of people don't want to look back on their childhood to begin with. It can't be from my childhood. Nothing. My childhood was perfect, but But more often than not, when I hear that kind of comment, it's something from their childhood. So we just have to come to the point of acceptance, and then we got to take the action to try to change that behavior. To try to, we'll just say we got to take the action to make that inner child feel safe and loved. We got to take the action to make that inner child feel safe and loved. Hey, Don, glad you're here. So awareness, acceptance, and action. All 3 of those got to come into play. If you miss one of them, we're going to fall right back in the old traps. Okay, and it's not a one-time thing. We have to do this almost on a daily basis. So just keep that. Well, I was aware of it the other day, and I accepted it the other day, and I took the action the other day to change. Well, how come nothing's happening? Because you got to keep doing it and keep doing it. Because how many years of behavior are we trying to change? For me, it was 38 years of behavior that I had to change. So it was a constant thing I had to do. So for myself, what's up, Tim? Glad you're here. For myself, when I'm triggered, the way it manifests psychologically is when I'm triggered, it's a shame attacking me. The shame comes right to the surface. And what does that feel like? Now, the other thing that I was taught, and that's real helpful, is to become aware of your physical presence. When something happens, how does it make you feel physically, and where does that physical manifestation happen? Well, the shame comes up, and as soon as the shame comes up, there's a knot on my stomach. And that knot in my stomach kind of turns to nausea, okay? And then I get a fast heartbeat. My heart rate speeds up. I get flush in the face. I get sweaty underneath the armpits. Sorry about the phone. I get sweaty in the armpits, and I can become weaky and shaky. So those are the, excuse me. So those are some physical things that I know right away that I'm being triggered from some trauma, past trauma in my life. And so I just got to, and it's not easy. You can be aware of all this stuff, but it's not easy just to stop. Because once you fall into that trauma trance, like a blackout, it just kind of takes over. And, the last time this happened with me and Kathy was 3 or 4 years ago, and the results were not pretty. And somehow I was able to calm myself down and say, you just got to stop and chill and go in the other room and figure out what's going on, Randy. And then once I was able to figure out what was going on, I was able to calm myself down and go, wait a minute, Kathy's not my mother. Kathy's my wife. She loves me unconditionally. When she says later, she means later. She doesn't mean never. So I had to realize where it was coming from. And that one hit me out of left field. Trauma triggers come from nowhere when you least expect it. They're just going to blindside you. And that's exactly what this one did. Now, of course, you all may experience, those are my physical signs. So it's just some that you might be aware of and say, hey, what's going on? But you guys might all have different physical signs. We're all different physiologically. Now, while the awareness can be curative, it does not mean that you automatically snap out of the trauma trance, like I was just saying. Aware of it, and I'm aware I got a lot of trauma triggers, but sometimes when they hit you blindside like that, you can't just stop. It's I don't know if anybody's experienced a rage blackout where you just black out, whether it's physical or verbal rage, and you say stuff and you do stuff, and next thing you know, you turn around. What just happened? You don't remember doing nothing. Blackouts, you just don't remember doing nothing. That's the same thing that will happen with a trauma trance. You don't remember the reactions. You can't control it. So the part of the being aware is that you can slowly over time, you can just gain a different perspective of yourself, because it's not you. You're okay. There's nothing really wrong with you. You've just got some more work to do on yourself. That's all it means. So, man, why am I getting triggered like this? I thought, I was 11 years, or was 2 years ago. So I was probably 8, 9 years into my recovery. And why am I being triggered like this? 8, 9 years in my recovery. Then not only recovered from drugs and alcohol, but I spent 7 years twice a week in therapy to work on this stuff. Why am I being triggered like this? Because some of the stuff is so deep inside of us, we don't even know it's there until that one unfaithful day. And it blows up in our face, okay? So the awareness is it can keep it, it's kind of like this. It's the difference between surfing a wave and being pummeled by it, okay? So if you can get to the point early on where, see, that day with Kathy, I knew something was wrong, because I walked back in the office and I was stewing, all right? And I was upset and I was mad. When I tried to say something to her, my attitude probably wasn't the best, and then but she was very loving in her comment back to me. But I couldn't stop it. So it was like going over the falls of a 20-foot pipeline wave that day. It just killed me, So if we can catch it, we'll be able to, and as we grow in a recovery, we'll be able to ride it out. And how do we do that? Well, hopefully you'll be able to stop and grab a hold of that 12-year-old boy or 12-year-old girl or 5-year-old boy or 5-year-old girl, that inner child inside of us that's hurting. The inner child inside of us that's hurting. That's the one that's acting out. We're adults. We act like adults most of the time. But it's that inner child, however old it is, that's acting out. It's hurt. I'm going to show you. As an adult in recovery, not ever having a voice as a child, I'm going to make my voice heard now. Okay, but that's where the adult has to come in. Say, whoa, little Randy, you're okay. Chill. This isn't happening today. Look where you're at. You're right here. You're grounded. You're in a safe place. Your wife loves you. She's not doing anything to hurt you. Your children love you. They're not doing anything to upset you on purpose. Relax. I got you. I'm gonna keep you safe. I'm gonna protect you. Nobody's gonna hurt you. I know it sounds funny, but that's literally what it takes, because that little child, we're the adult now. Before, it used to be all I did was act. When I was in business meetings where I didn't get my way, not in meetings, but if I didn't get my way on a bid, I didn't get a bid, then I was going to bully and manipulate my way into getting that bid. And that's just a little kid not getting his way. It's hurt little feelings, okay? Instead of accepting it like a contractor and say, hey, all right, I'll get the next one. No big deal. There's plenty of work for everybody. So we got to learn how to love that little 12-year-old boy or girl or 5, whatever that the inner child inside of you is. He does exist. I know it sounds funny, especially if you're a Christian. I know it sounds funny, but that person is inside of us. And you just got to experience it to know it. I can promise you. One of the things that we do that can really prove it to you is you do opposite hand writing. If you're right-handed, you take a pencil and paper with your left hand. You sit there on the pad and paper in a very quiet area, And you say, okay, you start out with your right hand. Say, hey, this is Randy. What's your name? Then you put the pencil in the left hand, and you will be absolutely amazed what comes out of your mind. It's unbelievable. And it's psychologically proven that it works. Okay, I'm getting too deep in that. Okay. So for me, the ideal scenario is not to put myself in a bubble world in which I try to protect myself from ever being triggered, but to have the awareness to respond to triggers with the same compassion for myself that I would have for an abused boy in my care. So we can't live in this bubble world where nobody's going to trigger us. Okay? Hey, what's up, son? We can't live in this world where nobody's going to trigger us. We're going to get triggered. Because people are people. They're going to say things. They don't know our background. They don't know our history. Okay? And so it's just being able to protect ourselves in those environments. Just say, I'm in a business environment right now. Nobody in here knows me. Okay? Don't take nothing personal. I had one guy say, well, how can you not take stuff personally when people are attacking you? It's not about you. It's about them. They're the ones with the problem, not you. So if we can learn that to not take things personally, that'll help us from getting those trauma that will help from those trauma triggers being triggered as well. Okay, so I hope some of that makes sense. So the 3 action steps you can take when triggered. One is you become aware of your surroundings and realize that you're not that little boy anymore. Okay, you can protect yourself. You can protect yourself. So become aware of your surroundings and realize you're not that little boy or girl anymore. Okay, you've got to take control as the adult now, and you hold on to the little child and you love them. And there's the acceptance. You accept the fact that you're being triggered, that you have the power in yourself to keep that scared little kid inside of you safe and sound. Okay, safe and loved. You have the power inside of you to take that little child and keep it safe and to love it. Okay. I had an old timer tell me one time. I love this story. It's pretty good. He says, Randy, you have the power to change the world within you. I looked at him. I said, you're crazy, old man. You're getting senile. You're crazy. There ain't no way I can change the world. But I found out over the years, we do. Each and every one of us has the power to change the world within us. And how does that happen? When we change our perspective of the way we see things and look at things, the world will change, I promise you. It's unbelievable how it works. It took me a couple of years, but it finally happened. So you do have the power within you to change the world. You have the power within you to protect that little broken child that's within you. Okay, so you just got to accept it. And 3, you take the action to reparent that broken little child inside of you that is scared. Okay? You just got to take the action to do that. I know it sounds silly. I had a client that says when he first started doing this inner child work, just much like I did, he told me the next session, he said, Randy, this is stupid. I can't believe this is going to work. But when he came in the next session, he goes, I can't believe how well this works. And it's the same thing I had. When my therapist first told me about it, I said, nah, this is crazy. You're out of your mind. Inner child inside of me. But believe me, it's phenomenal work, and it really will change your perspective. Especially if you've been abused in any way, not only sexually, but physically, emotionally, and spiritually. That little child just crawls back right inside of us. So you can read more about the trauma triggers in my book, Healing the Man Within. Okay, there's a whole chapter on this, and next week I'll do one more session on this, on the trauma trigger. So some news I want to pass on. My Courageous Healers Foundation, the new website is now up and live. It's a beautiful website. I'm getting a lot of comments on it. We're still adding stuff to it, but take a visit of it. CourageousHealers.org. It's a nice looking website. And with that, also the Ride Across America. This Ride Across America, I'm telling, it's just God's working in ways that I had no idea this was going to happen. I mean, doors are flying open in front of me in big ways. And next week, hopefully I'll be able to tell you one of the things that we're doing this week that's huge. But we're having our spaghetti dinner April 22nd. Okay, we have tickets now. They're $10 for adults, $6 for children, and then 12 and 8 respectively at the door. That's April 22nd from 4 to 8. Get a hold of me or Kathy. Most of you have our email, or you can instant message me, or you can call me. We'll make sure you get tickets. Hey, we got some great raffle prizes so far. We got I think it's a 3/4. It might even be a 1 carat diamond studded earring set that we're going to auction off. Was gifted to us, so that's going to be one of the auction items. We got right now. I have 6 half-hour golf lessons, and maybe more will be coming. I have a round of golf for 4 at Oasis Country Club and Chaparral Country Club, possibly Marrakesh Country Club, and possibly one more, possibly 2 at the Oasis Country Club. And we got a lot of gift baskets and more stuff still coming in. We're going to do this is going to be kind of fun. Kathy found a thing. We're getting a bunch. If you want to donate scratcher tickets, we're going to take a bunch of scratcher tickets, frame them in a big frame, picture frame. We're going to auction that off because somebody could win a lot of money. or not. Who knows? But something Kathy saw, it's going to be kind of fun. We're going to be able to register to ride different legs of my ride. We're going to set it up so that people can join me on different legs of the ride all the way across the United States. They can ride one leg or all the legs. It's going to be a fundraiser. So the registration fee, we haven't got it finalized yet, but it will include the registration and one of our cycling kits, bib and jersey. Okay. And you'll also be able to just purchase the bib and jerseys online here shortly. We're working on that right now. And if you want to donate for this, we're still looking we need funds. We need lots of funds still. We're doing good, but we still need more. You can either go to GoFundMe.com, Stomp Out Shame. You can go there and just do a donation there. You can go to my website, Courageous Healers website, and there's a donate page on that. Or you can mail a check to me here at the house. And if you want to do that, just message me and I'll get you the address for that. Change your life story now. I'm looking for clients. Life coaching is a completely different way to move through some of your stuck points and difficulties. You actually got the answers within inside of you, and I just help you find those answers by asking a lot of really powerful questions. Doesn't take a whole lot. But it's just a different way. I can help you get unstuck in a lot of different life areas. I've got a lot of different areas of life that we're working in. And Kathy and I are working with couples as well. Most of you know that. And then we're going to do a forgiveness workshop on May 6th. Forgiveness workshop on May 6th. We're going to do that here at the house. And hopefully I'll get enough registered people where I'll have to move it out of the house. Last time we did a workshop, we were at capacity. So I'm believing this time it's going to be double that. We'll have to find somewhere else to do the workshop. And lastly, you can get my books. Now you get it at Amazon.com naturally. And also my workbook is on Amazon.com now as well. 7-day challenge to healing the man within. So healing the man within and 7-day challenge to healing the man within is on Amazon. You can get the book at Destiny Church bookstore. You can also get it at the Hazleton Betty Ford Center bookstore. And they've got some copies in the Barnes & Noble Westfield Town Center as well. If you're a tech guy person, I have the book and the workbook. I don't have one in here. Oh, maybe I do. Excuse me, sorry. No, I don't have one in here. I have it on a flash drive. It comes in a nice little tin, so see the man within. So you can get the book and the flash drive and the workbook on a flash drive for $20. But you need to contact me directly for one of those, and I'll get you one of those as well. Something else. I will be leaving Thursday. We're going back for our 9th annual It Happens to Boys Conference. This year it will be in Austin, Texas. So we'll be speaking back there on Thursday. I believe that's about it. Let's see if there's one more thing. So anyways, thanks for all joining me. I really appreciate everybody that's online. I appreciate your support. It really means a whole lot to me. Next week, I will start. We've moved our 6 o'clock meeting back to 6:30. So I'll make sure next week we will be at 6 instead of 6:30. So again, I apologize for the early start today. I know I told you 6 when I started this. So with that, everybody have a super, super blessed week. And if nobody tells you they love you today, Randy does, but more importantly, God does. Thanks, guys. Be blessed.